Attention passionate Chicago, Bears fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Chicago Bears' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Chicago Bears fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Chicago Bears fans. Let's get to the news now, folks. If you've been paying close attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that this offseason has been buzzing with trade rumors, roster shuffles, and strategic moves. But one story in particular is stirring up some real excitement among Bears fans. It's all about the potential upgrade in the backfield, a move that could really change how the Bears approach the upcoming season. And no, I'm not talking about just your everyday signing or draft pick. This is about the possibility of acquiring a player who could add significant power and versatility to their running game, especially as they look to maximize their chances of competing at the highest level in 2024 and beyond. So, here's the scoop. The Chicago Bears are reportedly eyeing a trade involving Washington Commanders running back Brian Robinson Jr., who, as you might have heard, has become a hot topic in NFL trade circles lately. The buzz is that the Commanders are actively shopping him around, and why wouldn't they? Robinson's future with Washington is uncertain at best. Reports from reputable sources like Fox Sports, Jordan Schultz, and Commanders beat writer Ben Standig have indicated that Robinson might be on his way out, with Standig even suggesting that it's unlikely Robinson makes the final roster for Washington this year. That's a pretty clear signal that the team is open to moving him, especially as they navigate the tricky waters of roster cuts and trade negotiations. Now, what makes Robinson an intriguing target for the Bears? Well, for starters, he's a talented runner who has already shown he can handle a significant workload in the NFL. During his first 3 seasons, he amassed over 300 rushing yards and scored 20 touchdowns, not bad at all for a player who's still relatively young in his career. Robinson brings a combination of power and size that the Bears could really benefit from, especially considering their current backfield depth. Right now, Chicago's running game has been somewhat inconsistent, and with injuries lingering and young players still developing, adding a veteran like Robinson could provide that much-needed stability and insurance in the backfield. But here's the interesting part. The trade market isn't just about Robinson. It also involves the Bears' own roster and some strategic moves. The Bears recently acquired offensive lineman Ryan Bates from the Bills, a versatile interior lineman who is expected to compete for a starting spot. However, Bates has been hampered by injuries and didn't get much of a chance to showcase his skills last season. Now, with the Bears retooling their offensive line in the offseason, Bates is expected to serve as a top backup at all 3 interior positions. That versatility is valuable, but it also opens up the possibility of trading him to acquire a player like Robinson, who could make an immediate impact on the ground. And that's exactly what Moe Mautin proposed in his trade suggestion. He suggested that the Bears could send Bates and a 2026 fourth-round pick to Washington in exchange for Robinson. The idea is that Robinson could fill a crucial gap in the Bears' backfield, especially as they prepare for the 2025 season. Now, the question is, does this trade make sense for the Bears? Well, considering Robinson's talent and the potential to add a powerful running presence alongside DeAndre Swift, it certainly does. But it's not just about the talent, it's about the price. Robinson is entering his 4th NFL season, and he's under contract for just this year, which could make him a 1-year rental for Chicago. That means they need to weigh whether the cost, a 4th-round pick and Bates, is worth the upgrade. Let's analyze that. Bates, despite his injury setbacks last year, is a versatile lineman with a $17 million contract, and he's seen as a valuable backup who can start at multiple interior positions. The Bears, having invested in him during the offseason, might be hesitant to let go of that depth, especially considering their ongoing rebuild of the offensive line. On the other hand, Robinson's production in Washington has been quite impressive. He's rushed for more than 300 yards and scored 20 touchdowns in 3 seasons. His ability to handle a lead back workload and run with power makes him an attractive addition, especially as the Bears look for a complement to DeAndre Swift, who's more of a shifty, explosive back. But here's the catch. The Bears might not want to give up a high draft pick like a fourth-rounder for a one-year rental, especially if they're not convinced they can extend Robinson soon after acquiring him. There's always the risk that Washington might want more, or that Robinson ends up being a short-term solution rather than a long-term piece. The Bears, knowing they'll need to cut down their roster from 90 to 53 players by August 26, are also facing some injury concerns at the position. Roscoe Johnson, their promising fourth-round pick from 2023, has yet to return from a foot injury that kept him out of the preseason. Kyle Monangai, a rookie seventh-rounder, has also been sidelined with an undisclosed injury. Right now, Ian Wheeler and Travis Homer are the best backups available, and if Johnson or Monangai aren't ready, the Bears could look to the market for some help. And that's where things get even more interesting. The Denver Broncos might be a team to watch, as they have a few running backs who could be available. Jaleel McLaughlin, for example, has been a name in trade rumors, and with J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey leading their depth chart, they might consider parting with him. The Broncos are likely to hold onto their fifth-round pick, Audric Estem, but Jaleel McLaughlin could be available if they decide to make a move. And of course, Jalen Robinson, the Washington back, is another option, especially if the Commanders can't find a trade partner for him. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. The NFL roster cut deadline is coming up fast. Tuesday, August 26 at 4 p.m. ET, and teams are scrambling to finalize their rosters. The Bears, with their injury woes and roster uncertainties at the running back position, are definitely in the mix. They've been cautious throughout training camp, mostly sticking with their current backs, but injuries have forced their hand. With less than a week to go, it's very likely they'll be exploring the trade market even more aggressively. The idea is to bring in someone who can step in immediately, contribute, and help them stay competitive right out of the gate. And of course, the question on every Bears fan's mind is, will they pull the trigger on a trade for Robinson? Could this be the move that elevates their running game to a new level? Or will they hold onto their draft picks and hope that their current backs, like Ian Wheeler or Kyle Monangai, can step up? It's a fascinating debate, especially considering how much is at stake for this team. The Bears have been rebuilding steadily, investing in their offensive line, drafting young talent, and now it seems they might be ready to make a bold move to bolster their backfield. Robinson's combination of size, power, and NFL experience could be just what they need to make a real leap forward. But let's not forget, the NFL is a business, and sometimes these trades are about more than just on-field performance. They're about cap space, future planning, and team chemistry. The Bears will need to weigh whether Robinson fits into their long-term plans, or if he's just a one-year stopgap. If they decide to go for it, offering a lower compensation, maybe a sixth-round pick in 2026, could be a strategic way to seal the deal without overcommitting. It's all about value, timing, and assessing what's best for the team's future. Looking ahead, the Bears have a lot to consider. Their roster is still a work in progress, especially at the running back position, where injuries and uncertainty remain. The team has shown faith in their current players, but with the season approaching fast, they may need to be more aggressive in seeking external help. The trade market could be a goldmine for them, and Robinson's availability makes him a prime target. If they manage to bring him in, it could give them that extra punch, that punch of power and experience, right when they need it most. It would also send a message to the division that the Bears are serious contenders, ready to compete with the best, and willing to make bold moves to get there. Now, as we get closer to the roster cut deadline, all eyes will be on Chicago and Washington. Will they strike a deal? Will the Bears add a veteran back to their arsenal? And what does this say about their plans for the season? Those are questions only time will answer. But one thing is clear, the Chicago Bears are not standing still. They're exploring all avenues, all options, to ensure they're ready for the grind of the NFL season. And if they manage to pull off a trade for Brian Robinson Jr., it could be one of the most exciting moves of this offseason, setting the stage for what could be a special year for the Monsters of the Midway. And now, Chicago Bears fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential trade? Do you think acquiring Robinson is the right move for the Bears? Or would you prefer they stick with their current roster and develop their young talent? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Chicago Bears. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Chicago Bears news, analysis, and exclusive insights. This is the place where your passion for the Bears is always at the forefront, and together, we're building a community of true fans who never stop believing. Thanks for watching, and as always, bear down.